Why are Jewish people so rich? Did you know that in the United States, Jewish households have a median income that's nearly double that of non-Jewish households? Jews consistently have a higher household income than any other ethnicity in America. This striking difference in income levels between Jews and the rest of the population isn't just coincidence or dumb luck. It's rooted in strict financial rules that can be found in Jewish Holy Scripture, passed down through generations over thousands of years. These principles are more than just traditional wisdom. They're practical, foolproof strategies that span across various aspects of life, including business, social interactions, money management, and overall wealth creation. In today's video, I'll reveal these hidden secrets that the Jews have been holding on to for thousands of years. And if you watch until the end, I'll reveal a secret resource that you can use to build long-lasting wealth. Let's get started. There's a common misconception that the Jews embrace righteousness and don't mind being poor, given that money is materialistic. But that could not be further from the truth. Jewish rabbis don't view poverty as some sort of holy condition to be in. It's seen as a disease that no one wants. As a matter of fact, instead of being considered virtuous and desirable, rabbis describe it as pointless suffering, which makes a lot of sense on a practical level, and the writers of the Tanakh share this view of poverty. Here's the thing, because poverty is something the Jews avoid like the plague, the Jewish community is famous for never failing to earn a respectable living through meaningful employment or entrepreneurship. I bet you didn't know this, but in Jewish law, everyone is required to do everything in their power to be self-reliant and not be a burden on others. Even as many Americans and Europeans struggle with credit card debt, student loans, auto loans, and mortgage problems, the Jews, despite now being scattered all over the world, still thrive in their businesses and personal finances. But the question is, how? How are they so effective? When it comes to money, many Jews, especially the religious ones, look to the Torah, which is the Old Testament Bible, for direction. And the amazing thing is that it starts from childhood. Proverbs chapter 22 verse 7 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." It isn't just talking about frequent lessons, it means regular practice and applying them over and over again. Jews train their children to be independent thinkers and self-reliant enough to make sound financial decisions.
So that's number one. Whatever business we go into has to be lucrative. Number two, it has to be moral. It is very rare, if ever, actually I can almost guarantee this, you will never find an Orthodox Jewish man in the strip club business. Yes, it makes a lot of money, but it is not a moral business.
We do this by using 5 jars, each carefully labeled tithe, investing, savings, charity, and spending. Think of this as the piggy bank you likely have at home already, but with greater purpose. How about a practical example using just $10? After the child has received the money, he quickly calculates how much he needs to put in each jar, starting with the biblical instruction of him giving back 10% of any earnings to God. He'll place $1 in the tithe jar, leaving him with $9. This is really important to Jews, as it teaches them not to be greedy, an act that's emphasized by the next step, placing an extra 10% in the charity jar. Jews believe that giving wholeheartedly is life, and that they are building the community by doing so. But here's where things get really interesting. Beyond the charitable desire to help those who are needy, do you want to know why this second jar is so important? They believe that the more generous a person is in giving without expecting anything in return, the more trust the community passes on to the giver, and will want to support him whenever he makes an enterprise. Moving on though, the third jar is for investments. In the Jewish training system, kids are trained to place 20% of their money into this jar, to invest in any way they want, provided that it will give them more money in the near future. This isn't savings, it's strictly for investments. Yeah, you might think $2 is too little to make an investment, but how about something as simple as a lemonade stand business? When the jar racks up, they can buy lemons, sugar, and everything else needed to start their business. What I like most about this jar approach is that kids will be given full control and autonomy over when and where to invest their accumulated money, simulating life as an adult. The parent wouldn't even intervene when the kid makes a mistake, in order to let them learn from their failures. This improves the child's decision-making and sense of responsibility. Just think about the difference it'll make when they get older. Making money will become an instinct. As for the fourth jar, Jewish kids are instructed to have 10% of their money saved for emergencies and unforeseen challenges. Yep, the hands-on training even covers unplanned expenses. The fifth jar, however, is where they save the remaining 50% that hasn't been accounted for. The kids can use this for whatever they like, however they deem fit. But that's just one part. There are many other lessons where that came from. The Jews have such a special way of viewing money. They spend within their means and always have to adjust their lifestyle to fit their income, instead of being wasteful and spending carelessly. They'd prefer to do meaningful and valuable things, such as supporting their community and family, and investing in their skills, knowledge, and education, creating more value and wealth. Just think about this for a second. Do you treat money carefully, or do you blow it on expensive purchases? Do you create more value with your money, or are you chasing validation from your social circle by buying expensive items you can't truly afford? You may think that they're just being cheap, but the truth is that they know money is not eternal, but is always subject to risk and change, and so it has to be managed accordingly. There is a saying in the Talmud that goes as follows: efforts to earn money or actions and attempts to save money are a reflection of throttling. Great wealth requires hard work to pursue, and at the same time, it is necessary to eliminate loopholes in order to accumulate. This statement tells us that if you want to be rich, you have to do two things well: work hard to make money and work hard to save it. When you think about it, it's quite true. If you want to amass wealth, you will have to increase your income while doing all the things you can to keep it going and spending less than you earn. Both of these things are crucial to growing your finances. Ask yourself these questions. Do you have a clear idea of how much you spend every month? If yes, do you apply any effective strategies towards your savings and investments? How about lifestyle? Is it frugal, or do you waste your money on useless items? Your social circle also plays a significant role in your finances. Not a lot of people know this, but the Jews place a lot of importance on socializing and making bonds with people in their community, because it's crucial to their personal success and happiness. Remember the second jar of charity, and how I told you that the community will do all it can to support those who have business endeavors? It's all about the network. In an average community, no one cares about the next person, no one goes out of their way to help their neighbors and their businesses and take things forward. Everyone is basically an island. However, it's a different ballgame in the Jewish community, because they believe social circles would not only provide friendship and support, but also information and opportunities. They will work hard to create and maintain a social circle that is conducive to their development and growth. They will watch over themselves, assist each other, and ensure the cash flow keeps flowing within the circle. Have you ever heard the saying, if you want to get rich, you must learn from the rich? It's cited from the Talmud and tells us that if you want to get rich, you have to learn from and understand those who are either rich or on a path to getting there. You can't just wake up one day and try to make your dreams a reality. You need to study and learn from the best. Only by doing this first can you gain their rich experience, skills, methods, resources, knowledge, and so on. This idea works even better when you're being mentored physically, because you'll also gain their trust, recommendations, and network, which could open a lot of doors and be faster for you. It's really interesting how, just by reading the Talmud, we can learn the Jewish wisdom and secrets about how to make, maintain, save, and invest money, which could accumulate and lead to wealth. There's another thing that I'd like to talk about relating to work. Have you ever wondered how much effort you'll need to get to the next level in your work life? A lot of people make the mistake of bending over backwards to make ends meet, thinking it's the best path to financial freedom. And while I admit I used to think that way too, the truth is that it's an endless chase. Putting in more time at work isn't going to create riches for you. Instead, you've got to go back to the drawing board and figure out how you can work hard while also working smart. Because that's how true wealth is generated. For example, we all know about investing in the stock market and the power of compound interest. But what if you could invest in stable companies that beat the market in the long run, and also don't take a big hit during recessions? You might be surprised to know that companies like this do exist, but they're not the sexy, overpriced tech companies like Nvidia that we're all obsessed with. I'm talking about boring businesses that stand the test of time, such as energy or agricultural companies. After all, no matter what happens to the economy, there will still be demand for food and energy. And this is how the smartest investors invest their money. They find low-risk and high-reward companies that can grow in the long term. But the problem for everyday investors like you and me is that these companies are hard to find and require a lot of research. Sometimes it takes hundreds of hours to find just one. Lucky for you, I found a solution. I recently discovered the Insider Newsletter, a weekly newsletter where expert money managers analyze what's happening around the world and find amazing companies for you to invest in for the long term. I use it myself and I truly can't recommend it enough. For a limited time, you can try it for 30 days for just $1 using the link in the description below. Remember, no matter how old you are, you can start applying these rules and principles today, and it will make a real improvement in your life for years to come.